Just after sunrise in Muscat, the scent of cardamom drifts through an open courtyard before a single word is spoken. A brass dalla pot sits warming on a low charcoal brazier, its long curved spout catching the early light. Beside it, a stack of tiny handleless cups waits in a neat row, no bigger than a fig. A wooden tray holds dates the color of amber, split open to show pale golden flesh inside. Smoke curls from a small clay burner, frankincense resin melting into a thread of pale perfume. A guest steps through the doorway, sandals left outside, welcomed warmly with both hands to the chest. No one asks why he has come. The coffee is already being poured before the first question. The host lifts the dalla with his left hand, steady and practiced, the spout aimed with total precision. He fills a single small cup, a thumb's width of pale golden liquid, and hands it over. The guest takes it the way he was taught as a child, cradled in the right hand only. He sips once. The cup is already nearly finished before it ever felt full. This is Oman, where a coffee that never really fills you up somehow says more than a feast. The first time a visitor sees it, the instinct is to wait for more coffee to be poured in. It never comes all at once. The cup stays small, deliberately, every single time. In most places, a full cup means the host is generous. Here, a full cup can mean the opposite. Filling it to the brim signals inattentiveness, as if the host stopped paying attention the moment he poured.
The small pour is not a shortage. It is a promise that the host will return, and return again.
Before the guest even sets the cup down, the host is already lifting the dalla to refill it. Over and over the ritual repeats, sometimes 6 times, sometimes 10, each pour a fresh small gesture. It is easy to lose count and hard to ignore. Someone is watching you, cup by cup, all evening. There is only one way to make the pouring stop, and it isn't finishing the coffee. The guest gives the tiny cup a light shake, side to side, barely a flick of the wrist. The host reads the motion instantly and does not pour again. The message needed no words at all. Skip the shake and the pouring continues, because refusing outright can feel like refusing the welcome itself. Visitors have been known to sit through a dozen refills simply because no one told them about the shake. It sounds like a small detail. In Oman, it is closer to a whole language of manners. This one small cup carries centuries of trade routes, mountain caravans, and a code of hospitality older than most homes. To understand why the cup stays small, it helps to go back to where the beans first arrived. Coffee reached the Arabian Peninsula centuries ago, carried up from Yemen's highlands along ancient overland trade routes. Long before filter drip or espresso machines, travelers were already roasting beans over open desert fires. In the harsh interior, offering coffee to a stranger was never just a drink. It was a survival code. A traveler denied shelter or water could suffer badly in the heat, so hospitality became a matter of honor. That unwritten code of welcome was passed down long before it was ever written into any book. The dalla pot itself was shaped for this exact purpose, its long spout built to pour without a single spill. Its wide base sits low and stable over embers, keeping the coffee at just the right gentle simmer. Beans are lightly roasted, pale gold rather than dark brown, keeping the coffee mild instead of bitter. That lighter roast is why Omani coffee looks almost like weak tea, though the flavor is anything but weak. Cardamom pods are cracked and added while the coffee brews, their sharp green scent folding into the liquid. Saffron threads sometimes drift in too, along with a few drops of rosewater in some households. Cloves occasionally join the blend, each family keeping its own small variation passed down like a quiet secret. Before any of that, the beans are pounded by hand in a wooden mortar called a mikbej. The rhythmic pounding once served as an announcement, a sound that traveled across a village to say guests were welcome. Neighbors could hear the beat from streets away and know exactly what kind of gathering was underway. The small pour itself has a name, Sabba Al-Qahwa, the deliberate art of never quite filling the cup. It forces a kind of ongoing attention that a single large cup could never demand from a host. A guest with an endless cup can be forgotten in a corner. A guest with an empty cup cannot. Serving order matters as much as the pour itself, always offered with the right hand, never the left. The most senior or most respected guest is served first, a small daily lesson in respect for elders. In many homes, the youngest son or daughter is given the honor of pouring, learning hospitality by doing it. Handing a full dala to a child is itself a quiet vote of confidence in the next generation. Guests are expected to accept a few rounds, often landing somewhere close to 3 small cups. Refusing the very first cup outright can feel less like a preference and more like refusing the welcome. Alongside the coffee sits a plate of dates, usually the soft kalas or the firmer fard variety. The sweetness of the date is timed to meet the bitterness of the coffee almost exactly on the tongue. One is eaten just before or just after a sip, the pairing treated almost like a single dish. In 2015, UNESCO placed Arabic coffee on its list of humanity's intangible cultural heritage. The listing was filed jointly with the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Oman, all named together. UNESCO gave it a simple description: Arabic coffee, a symbol of generosity, shared across borders and centuries. In Oman's southern region of Dhofar, frankincense has been harvested and traded for thousands of years. That same resin is often burned in the same room where coffee is served. 2 old trades meeting in one ritual. Children are brought to the market with their elders, specifically to learn how good coffee beans are chosen. They watch the roasting and learn the smell of a bean done just right, long before they ever pour a cup themselves. None of this is written in a manual. It survives because it is repeated, cup after cup, generation after generation. What began as desert survival slowly became an entire etiquette, refined enough to fill a modern living room. Step into a majlis, the formal reception room of an Omani home, and the ritual still opens every visit. Business meetings in Muscat often begin the same way: coffee and dates before a single contract is mentioned. Deals seem to move slower here, and the coffee ritual is part of the reason no one seems to mind. Hotels and cultural centers now run short demonstrations for visitors curious about the dala and the shake. Guides teach the wrist motion within minutes, and visitors practice it like a new piece of vocabulary. Younger Omanis, raised on instant coffee and busy city schedules, still return to the ritual for family gatherings. Some households have simplified the roasting, buying pre-ground blends instead of pounding beans by hand each morning. The small pour, though, has not changed. No modern convenience has managed to replace that particular gesture. Coffee brands abroad now market Omani-style blends, printing cardamom and saffron notes on foreign store shelves. Few of those bottles mention the shake, the serving order, or the dates that make the ritual complete. What travels easily is the flavor. What stays home is the quiet choreography built around it. A visitor can buy the spices online in an afternoon and still miss the entire point of the cup. The point was never really about coffee. It was about a host who refuses to stop noticing you. That is harder to bottle, harder to export, and so far impossible to rush. Every generation worries the ritual might fade with faster lives and busier schedules, and somehow it hasn't yet.
It survives in Omani homes the same simple way it always has. One small cup, poured again and again.
Step back far enough and the lesson has very little to do with coffee at all.
A cup filled once and forgotten says less than a cup filled 6 times with attention.
Generosity here isn't measured by volume. It's measured by how many times someone chooses to come back and check. The tiny Fenjan cup, no larger than a fig, somehow holds more care than a mug filled to the brim. A guest who is watched, refilled, and noticed rarely forgets the visit, however small the actual coffee was. It is a strange kind of math. Less liquid, more meaning, repeated until the guest finally waves it off. That wave, the small shake of an empty cup, might be the most honest way to say thank you there is.
It says the welcome was received, understood, and enough, all without a single spoken word.
Elsewhere, hospitality can mean piling a plate high and walking away to attend to someone else. Here, it means staying close enough to notice exactly when the cup runs low every single time. A guest could measure Omani generosity by the coffee pot. A better measure is how often the host returns to it. Maybe the lesson travels beyond one country. Attention given again and again outweighs abundance given only once. Somewhere in Muscat tonight, A dala is being lifted for the 4th or 5th time in an hour. No one at the table is counting. They are only sitting, sipping, and being quietly looked after. The fox lowers a small fenjan cup, a curl of frankincense smoke rising beside a half-eaten date. In the last golden light of the day, the pot is still warm, and there is always room for one more small cup.